African Americans are 3 times as likely to feel there is a great deal of discrimination.
My name is Renee Chevalier, and I'm a senior here at Cabrini College. I'm 22 years old, and I'm Haitian American. There's been many altercations of me being discriminated against. I'm going to use that word because I feel it's the most accurate. Mainly because of my background. I was in the 3rd grade, living in New York. It was in class, and this kid, he literally asked a question like, "Why are you so dark?" Because I'm black. Like, what do you want me to say? You're Haitian? Ew, Haitians are dirty. I went off. When I was younger, I got into a lot of fights mainly because somebody always had some type of feeling against me because I was black. I mean, living in New York, that usually doesn't happen because it's so integrated with so many different cultures and different people, so you don't really expect it.
A study showed that lifetime discrimination against African Americans links to higher rates of stress.
Some of the things that people might not know about racial discrimination are that it affects people's health outcomes, how people have to handle and deal with stress, especially people of color, and that for some people of color, it actually results in lower life expectancies because they have to deal with things such as hypertension. These things are easily found out by researching online and going to scholarly medical journals and seeing the effects of racism and discrimination, racial discrimination on people of color.
While at an event, Renee expressed her views on racism.
Racism is not dead. I just want to make it as clear as possible. I want people to see because it's not dead. Like, people come at me because I have a white boyfriend. It's like, okay, and people come at him, oh, you act black. It's like, it's always gonna be something. Like, no, you can never make anybody happy. Like, I feel like that's the moral of life. You can't make anybody happy. When my friend said, oh, you're cute for a black girl. And I was like, what do you mean cute for a black girl? He was like, for a dark-skinned person, you're pretty cute. And I was just like, that's really fucking rude. And again, I went off. Usually, most of my answers ended right. I like to have discussions because I want to understand what you don't understand. Does that make sense? Like, I want you to tell me what you really think instead of just saying it's a bias that you just think it's true. Like, what do you really think?
Because sometimes it is a miscommunication, and there are cultural dynamics between blacks and whites that many times whites don't want to offend, but because many whites lack a cultural literacy that black Americans speak, whites can offend black people unintentionally, and only when whites become more aware of it can we do less offending.
Oh, you're cute for a black girl. It's like, well, what makes you think I'm just not cute as a person? Like, it's just the black girl part that really gets me, and I really try to understand where they're coming from.
White people, I consider myself to belong to the white community, we commonly experience positive racial discrimination where we are favored because of our skin color, and in my case, because I'm a man. So I'm never treated in a job interview as somebody who shouldn't be in the job interview. I'm commonly not challenged in the classroom even for my right to profess certain knowledge. I have a much easier time living in America because I'm a white man.
Yes, we made some come-ups. Yeah, we got a black president for sure, whatever. But it's not really as big of a come-up as people think it is. Because there's, no matter what, going back to the job boards, there's always going to be a stature against you. Not only for racism or whatever it is, whether there is always going to be a race card played into it because that's how society works, whether you want to see it or not.
America in 50 years will be a much more racially tolerant, gender tolerant, sexuality tolerant, and class tolerant society, as well as religiously tolerant.
When I see something that has to do with racial profiling or anything racially, I feel like it's in my nature for me to always advocate for whomever it is. Anger out of it and talk about it in a different matter. So I will be angry, but not like aggressively angry. Me being more in touch with my emotions and my understanding now of what racial profiling and racial slurs and discrimination against all types of things, I understand it better now, so I understand how to approach the situation.